Peace, family. This your brother, Mr. Holipsism, coming to you live from Brooklyn. Hoping. I'm sorry, got distracted. Let me put this thing on mute. This shit is fucking annoying me. My phone just keeps going off and off and off. Let me put this on silent. Silence. There you go. Yeah, man. Just wanted to talk to you guys today about the L's that the conscious community and the Captain American Negroes, the Militant Integrationists, the Black Power Americans, they stay taking L after L after L in America as of late. There's been back to back to back stories. I'm actually losing track of them. So the people in the chat room, peace, Deontay, you might have to remind me of all the ones that have popped up lately, but we just been taking L after L. The last one I heard was Dominique Wilkins having a problem with a restaurant in Atlanta. Dominique Wilkins of the Atlanta Hawks, legend in Atlanta, is experiencing racism in Atlanta from a restaurant. I mean, what? It's so many of these stories that I can't even count them. When this happens, the same people pushing back against land, infrastructure, nationhood, and socio-economic and political control over their own environment, against Black nationalists, against neo-Pan-Afrikanists, and against Afrikan Centered Progressives, usually go M.I.A. and maintain radio silence. You don't hear nothing from them. You don't see from them. You don't see any posts from them. They just quiet until everything dies down and they pop their heads back up again. How many more L's do they have to take before they finally come to the conclusion that the solution is to have your own shit? Had to put it in layman's terms. Please hit the like button. And please post in the chat room all of the L's that you've been seeing people taking lately. Peace, what's up, Underrated? Underrated, if you can, come in with me. If you can. If you can, I can understand. But if you can, I need some people to bounce off of, because this is not a topic that I've really, mapped out and did a whole lot of research on. It just didn't, it just seemed timely based on the events that's happening lately. Everybody's complaining about racism in America. Oh, he's here. Hold on. All right, I got two people. What's up, Underrated?
Hello.
Hey.
Peace.
What's up, Dennis?
How are you?
I'm fine. How you doing?
I'm always
First time on the stream, so good to see you.
That's right.
And we got Jabari.
Peace, fam. I'm excited to see everybody on this.
Yeah, man.
Holla kept bothering me, so I figure, I'm seeing it on the chat, Telegram.
You ain't gonna have me out here in the wind. You ain't gonna have me twisting in the wind today. I ain't that good.
Text message. I said, you know what? All right.
Oh, I think somebody else is here. Emoja is on the scene as well.
Okay, we got the whole game.
Come on, bring in the squad. We got the squad. The Fantastic Five.
Emoji, what's good?
My peoples, good morning or afternoon, wherever you're at.
Shoot, man.
Yeah, Emoji is a busy man. He's a busy man.
I bet.
Yo, Emoji.
What's happening?
I wish you was around me because you can be my fitness trainer.
Hey, I'll get you in there too. I don't mess around.
How much do you charge an hour?
For you, $1,000.
Whoa.
For my
He
big
doing
brother,
highway robbery. He doing highway robbery.
Highway robbery,
for my big bro, only 1,000. Nah, man, I charge a little bit of that. No, straight up. I actually be plugging people, especially my people. I don't be trying to rob people because it's like my side hustle more than anything. I wish I was on a level where I was training superstars and athletes and entertainers. That'd be something different, but I just do it for a side hustle. Really, I just love to work out.
Yeah.
Nice. How do you do it? Like when you have somebody, do you usually do like 1 hour, 2 hour sessions?
Oh, 1 hour max, man. Cause I do like the kind of hit training. When I do it, we do reps and sets like rapidly. I don't just sit around. I don't take somebody to the gym and do like five sets of bench press and then sit and look around for 3 minutes, then do another 5 sets. No. We gets after it. Yeah, I don't mess around.
See, that's what I need, man. I need that.
I don't take long at all. But we gonna get it straight up. We gonna get it. You gonna know you worked out. It ain't gonna take nothing but 30 or 45 minutes.
Oh, see, that's what I need. Even though I have to get in shape to start getting in shape, so I'm gonna be horrible in the beginning.
Exactly.
So I'm not ashamed. It is what it is. You're gonna see my fucking heart coming out of my throat.
What?
Sessions. But that's what you got to do, man. You got to go through that hard stuff, so it becomes easier to do.
And it don't take long. It's just like with anything else, consistency.
Right.
No matter what you're trying to do, whether you're trying to learn computer programming, whether you're trying to learn engineer, whether you're trying to know how to work cameras at your job, right? You got to, once you do it a while, it becomes easier.
Cool. How do y'all like the scenery that I set up? You see how I put everything on the screen?
I love it.
Yeah.
I set it up, got rid of the StreamYard stuff.
BAIO is live.
There you go. So, yo, man, what are some of the stories? Like, did y'all hear the one about the Dominique Wilkins thing in Atlanta?
Yes.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on that? Like, I'll start with Dennis. Dennis, you could go because you're.
Wait, can y'all inform me of Dominique
viewer.
Wilkins?
Go ahead, Dennis. You can tell him.
Well, the fact that he's a well-known coach, supposedly a player, longtime player in Atlanta for the NBA, he was denied access to a restaurant. Yeah, he's a tall black man.
In Atlanta.
Yeah, in Atlanta, the supposedly land of the black people, owned by black people, but really just a face owned by white people, really. They don't really own anything. But it's supposed to be the mecca for the black elite as well. I remember a lot of people, songwriters and producers left Virginia to move there, left LA to move there. A lot of people here in Charlotte moved there. But unfortunately, it's a lot of things that they don't understand. They spend a lot of money the same way with the open enemy, but in front of everybody else, it's like we are Atlanta and they are not Atlanta. So it's just another wake-up call. It's just consistently finding these things. A lot of channels, that's the only thing they do. They don't talk about anything about land infrastructure, nationhood. They're always talking about what is happening against the black people, but yet they still vote against the black people themselves. That's, if they talking about voting, well, they voted in the ultimate racist. Honestly, the track record speaks for itself all the way back in the 80s or 70s. So when you don't know how to be a nation, you never get repaired. You'll never get repaired without being a nation. So there's never going to be, I always tell people, no reparations, no nation. That's just a fact. No matter how you spill it, no matter how to shout it, no matter what you say. And so this goes back to, what do you really own? Who are you? You keep saying we're losing over here, we're getting hit, we're getting ran over. And it's the prominent athletes that keep doing it. They're the face, the entertainers are the face, but once something happens to them, they need the Black community to come in and say, hey guys, this is wrong. But why didn't you go to your own Black-owned established so-called business restaurants? Why you keep frequenting the people just like our Black ladies keep going to the Asian restaurants, but yet, or Asian nail salons? No matter how much they get slapped, no matter how they get beat, no matter whatever, they give them a discount, they're right back. The programming is deep, extremely deep. So, you know, I always say this, as long as you're in religion, you'll always be enslaved as well. And you'll always forget people that beat you.
Can you imagine Larry Bird getting denied a restaurant in Boston?
Yeah, right.
Can you imagine that? That would never fucking happen.
That never happened.
Right.
I mean, you already have like I think Charles Oakley and Patrick Ewing are banned from Madison Square Garden by the owner.
What? I don't think.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know Oakley's definitely banned. I think Ewing got kicked out one time, but he might not be banned. But the fact that he got kicked out is problematic.
Yeah. After he gave so many years to them.
Yeah, they don't care.
I know.
Mm-hmm. And can I add to that? And can I add to that when you're talking about taking L's? Did y'all hear the story about the father who had his daughter's ashes and the police thought it was drugs? Who said that?
Yes.
Remember that?
Huh?
Yes.
No, I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the police thought that his daughter's ashes were actually drugs. Yeah, but that happened. And, you know, it really just irks me, right? But then I remember, and be it as it may, I remember seeing somebody on YouTube, and they were talking about how when he shares stories, a lot of the people commented in that they feel sad, they feel depressed. And my response is, if you feel like you're hopeless in this country, why are you still trying to stay in that country? You're subjecting yourself to unnecessary misery and unnecessary trauma. Why are you doing it to yourself? That's not normal. You shouldn't have to endure that if you actually see value in yourself. And to add to Dennis' point, you know, Black people, and I've shared this in the chat, but Dennis, I don't think I've shared it with you. Black Americans, I said, constitute what is called a stateless nation. And the definition of a stateless nation is an ethnic group or nation that does not possess its own nation state and is not the majority population in any nation state. The term stateless implies that the group should have such state. And we don't understand that concept.
That's a fact, though. That's a fact. And I always listen to what Holub said, no matter how hard you shout. I listen to all you guys all the time. And the thing of it is, the frustration is real. It's like, what are you not getting? Even if you're not moving, at least you should be listening and paying attention and absorbing and receiving, and I always like to say digesting the information. Because once you digest it, it's inside of you and eventually it'll take over. But you can't even allow the seed in, so you really won't get no harvest. And so when you have to go in so hard to, you know, it is like you're wasting your breath sometimes. But the realization is that's just going to be so many of them lost because they refuse to move from. The hopelessness is that the lack of accountability that wants to happen for your own life. So you're still saying that I want Zaddy to still take care of me because Zaddy brought my people over. You know, and even though they still gave them some hog renderings, even though they worked all day in the field, they still gave them a little water, they beat them, they had sex with them and all that. But all through that, I know he still loves me. because he gave me his God. And so every time I see him, I can't fight him. I can't do so much but talk to him, get a little frustrated with him. But you know what? I still see him in Jesus. I still see him in Muhammad. It is so deeply ingrained that they don't even realize that's what they've done to themselves. The religion was the ultimate weapon in mind control. And so we think we have to forgive all the time to the point where so many of us just can't get through to them anymore.
I think we need to make clear.
Hold on, before I just want to make that quick point. Okay, go ahead, Moses.
If it's because it could be some people
go ahead.
might be listening or coming in who haven't listened to us in a while. I want y'all to understand after taking L, we're not on here complaining at all because we understand. I think we're more addressing the deep-seated mental illness that is Black America, and the fact that we continuously take and accept L's, but when people who want to build a nation outside of America like us make that point, we're fought against viciously. Like all the excuses to stay in America come up, while at the very same time we complain about how bad America is and how all this stuff happens. So I just wanted to make that point before we continue, because somebody from the outside could look at like, oh, they just complained and blah blah. And it's like, no, we're just making succinct points about why we need to leave, and the even deeper point about how our people still, no matter what happens, and no matter who it happens to, in our communities, we refuse to want to gather and leave. Go ahead and make your point.
Yeah, I wanted to address Jenna's point about religion and how religion is an ultimate downfall. You know, I shared a video, Umoja and Underrated Mom remember, and Hullet remember. It wasn't in America, but it was talking about, in Africa, like particularly South Africa, and they were talking about Dennis how they're literally selling shops and businesses to build more churches, and I'm just thinking like, wow, like why are you're selling businesses and shops, apartments just to build churches. And I remember what she said. She's like, why is it that I have to suffer in this life and to wait to have a better life in the afterlife? Like, that's how there are a lot of Black people that think like, they think, life will be better in the afterlife. And I'm just like, I'm here now. I don't want to suffer now. I'm not waiting till the afterlife for me to live a good life. And then, secondly, when we're talking about L's, we're talking about the Militant Integrationists and Captain Black America, because we racking up W's on this side, but they just taking L after L after L. And then yesterday, when I was watching on a live, they were talking about how the trend of Black people leaving America is growing. So we're on the right side. The Captain Black Americans, they just taking L's and hoping that people just stay with that misery. But most an increasing number of Black people are realizing this ain't it. I refuse. This is not what my life's gonna be. But
and let me address that afterlife thing.
No.
Yeah.
Everybody has their theories and everybody has their beliefs, but there has yet to be one person to come back from the afterlife and tell everybody on earth how great it is. It has not fucking happened yet. And you would figure, since it was so fucking fantastic, maybe they'll send a sign or something to the people living. Yo, y'all niggas better die real fast, because this is the shit over here.
Holla, come on, man.
I have not heard nobody saying that shit. So as far as I'm concerned, this is it until we hear otherwise. So we might as well do what we got to do right here.
In the words of Shirley Caesar said one time, why do you want to live in hell and then die and go to hell? And basically,
yeah. Like hell. Come on, man. Hell. We talking about hell for real.
So the afterlife stuff is really an excuse to not still fight for your right to live here. That's really what the afterlife is about. It's still another excuse and escape from being accountable to have your own nation, your own responsibility, your own self. That's what it has done, and that's what they hold on to. Well, I want to fight him here because he promised me I'll have my own mansion in the sky. Yeah.
And the immortal words of Screwface from Mark for Death. Everybody want heaven, nobody want dead.
Well, I mean, Napoleon did say that religion is the perfect tool for keeping the poor from murdering the rich. So, you know.
Yeah, I just heard a story where they gave Jeff Bezos $10 billion for his so-called space program.
Billion. And you know, and Hollip, you know what? He hadn't made one rocket
for no reason
go into space yet.
But you know what he did? He brought Warner Brothers for $9 billion.
Wow.
So they gave him $10 billion. He took it and bought a movie company. This is the second, or like it fluctuates between him and the other dude, richest man in the world. And they gave him $10 billion, but they telling you can't even get 1,200.
1,200. And you know what's so cool about it, Hollip, is that the bid came down to him and Elon Musk over there at SpaceX, right? SpaceX came in, I forgot how much they said, but it was like $3 or $4 or $5 billion cheaper, whatever. And so what Bezos basically did was had his congressman, senator, whoever, attach an amendment to a bill. The senator or politician from Washington State, wherever, attach it to the bill, and it was just voted right through. So again, is socialism for the rich, rugged capitalism for the poor.
Right. Nobody has a problem with a handout when rich people are getting it.
And to add to that, hold up, did you hear about? Hold up, did y'all hear about the other dystopian thing that Amazon is doing? The solitary confinement.
No,
I didn't know about that.
Yep, they're doing solitary confinement now. Yep, they're doing solitary confinement. Yep, they're doing solitary confinement at work.
Wait a minute.
How so?
And the fact that
solitary confinement was about prison.
Seriously. No, like they're actually putting like boxes, like actual boxes, and they'll send you to solitary confinement. So like a timeout where you go in that box for like a given period of time. You can look it up. I was just like,
man,
the fact that Amazon
had my mic
get away with this is flabbergasting.
So I guess pissing in a cup is not enough.
Like they literally doing solitary confinement.
That's not enough. That was bad enough.
In Tesla right now, they're putting hidden cameras in your car.
Yep.
Yeah, and Tesla with their new car, they're not having hidden cameras in there. Like that, they feel like it's an invasion of privacy.
Wait a minute, they're putting cameras in the car without you knowing about it?
Yeah. Because they want to see if you're driving safely.
Oh, get the fuck out of here!
What?
How is that legal? Well, you know what? I'm answering my own question. I'm sorry. I know. Yeah. I know how it's legal. Anything is legal when you have the money.
Yes.
We gotta
because it's a corporation, and so they buy their way through anything.
Yeah.
Yo, this is a problem that has to be addressed in our nation, because it's very easy for our nation to be just America 2.0 with the same bullshit if we don't address it. You cannot have rich people running the goddamn country.
Yeah, like I always tell people. Yeah, you can't. And you have to have regulations. Like I tell people, this deregulation does not work. There's a reason why you have regulations. Like people are like, well, if you deregulate, the economy will thrive. And I say, no, what they're going to do, they're going to cut corners. There's a reason why you can't build a house near a power line. You can't build a house near a nuclear facility. Like, that's basic safety. Like, we had to learn that in environmental engineering. You can't do that. And when people talk about, we just need entrepreneurs and businesses. That's not alone going to help our nation thrive. You need government policy. Because I was talking to one of my average friends, and he was like, I told him about how these people in the Black community were talking about, we don't need public policy. We need, like, businesses. We need to control our own thing, right? And he just looked at me suspiciously, and he was like, public policy is how you address the issue.
Right.
Exactly. So what
most people is just talking shit. They don't know what the fuck they talking about. They just running their goddamn mouth. You know what I'm saying? That's what most of the people in the fucking conscious community is doing.
What'd you say about peer review?
The people who know what they talking about. Public policy. We don't need public policy. What are you, fucking retarded? Like, what intelligent person would say something like that? Only a person that doesn't know what the fuck they talking about would say that.
We got a question in the chat from Baruti. He says, to the panel, should the civil rights, I believe? Okay. Should the civil rights orgs and Black conservative players be grouped together as integrationists? Would this give a clear analysis to the ideology turf? Nationalists are the other group.
They already are.
Yes.
They already are.
Underrated mind. Yeah, because I remember watching this video. Paul is right. Because I remember, I'm just going to say this brief thing real quick. I remember watching this 5 years ago. It was like 4 or 5 years ago. It was from this dude. I don't like the dude. I don't like any of his positions. But he said the conflict between Black people is not between Black liberals and Black conservatives. It's between Black nationalists and integrated.
Wait, you broke up on that last part. You said it's between what?
Oh, yeah, hold up. He said it wasn't between Black liberals and Black conservatives. It's between Black nationalists and integrationists.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And that was 5 years ago. So, yeah, like, that's just what we need to call it.
Yeah, 100% true.
Oh, yeah. In Harlem, they're called Zen booths. They're called Zen booths.
Zen booths. Sound like a fucking drink. Some Zen booths.
Have a double Zen booth and little ice, little 7.
Give me the pina colada kind too, please, off the top shelf. Thank you.
I'm just wondering, like, everybody, you notice everybody's catching an L. It doesn't make a difference whether you're an entertainer, you're an athlete, a well-renowned scholar. It doesn't matter. Everybody's catching an L.
Yeah.
Cornel West just caught an L.
Yeah.
And we kept telling y'all.
There's another lady, Black scholar.
We kept telling it. And on this side, we're actually making moves.
Exactly.
Yeah, Nicole Hannah-Jones.
Right.
But they fight so hard and talk so hard about the L they get.
And meanwhile, here,
HBCUs or anywhere else.
Who's Nicole Jones?
To the 1698, 1684, whatever it is, project.
1619 project.
19, yeah, 1619 project.
Yeah, 1619 project.
Okay, I got you.
But now that's the thing that I mostly got in the video, because I really didn't care about the other or whatever, was just when they gave the number of Black professors who actually have tenure in this country, and it's only, what they say, 5.2% of them. And so that really took me back to when Jabari was discussing making inroads having connections between the HBCUs over here and colleges in Liberia and West Africa over there, because then at least you in a position to where if we do it right and it's really done right, then where they can have tenure in a different place, because we're going to need those professionals and intellectuals. I mean, there's just no way to get around that. And anybody who thinks otherwise is crazy. But, you know. Yeah, our roads lead back to the same. Our roads lead back to the same
and
thing.
You know, it reminded me because, nation state, like, and to address that point, Daryl, it's amazing because, like I said, we're racking up wins over here. Like, we're making the inroads, we're making everything, we're making all the moves. We getting shout outs, we getting this from different Liberians, and yet y'all still keep talking about this militant integrationist, despite the fact that literally they keep telling you, like, yo, we want y'all to come back. What more do you need? Like, they're literally telling you, your Liberian brothers and sisters are like, this is your greatest achievement. Like, this is your home. And it's like that tweet. I mean, it was like that comment that we did an interview about Liberia. And he was like, it's like you having $20,000 or $30,000 in the bank and you still begging for money when you forgot that you got $20,000, $30,000 in the bank. That's literally how the militant integrationist sounds right now.
But I think by and large, a lot of people in that camp that we're talking about, I just don't think they know. Like I think some of the more, I think some of the higher ups know, they know about the history of Liberia and this, that, and the third. But I think that if you spoke to 85, 90% of African Americans, Black people in America, and just ask them what they know about, our history in Liberia, I don't believe they know. So I think most people act in a way that they act, one, because it's comfortable, but two, also because they just don't know. They hadn't been made hip to it.
That's a fact. All my years, that we was never taught anything about Liberia or anything in the family, because that's where the education should start anyway, passed down through generations of information in the home. So because the open enemy is not going to educate our people. So if we're not doing it ourselves and passing it down, like you just said, we start from a place of not knowing. Now, when there's people come along like you guys and others who say, this is where we are, this is where we've been, this is what we should be trying to do, then we need to be opening up to listen and try to learn then, versus just say, what is that? Well, no, but most of them, it's not so much the Liberia issue. They just don't want to be connected to Africa, period. That's the problem. No matter where you come from, that whole coastline there, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Senegal, and all those there is where a lot of the coastline, what we supposedly came from, but nobody even want to be listed, associated with Africa, period.
Spirit issue.
But to me, that's. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a self-hate issue, but it's also like it's this. Oh yeah, I just want to say this real quick. I also think it's because a lot of in America, this is American phenomenon in particular, contradictions. We just accept contradictions, even though they don't make sense. They're incoherent. We take contradictions like it's okay in American culture. So somebody will say, a Black American will say, or like FBA or ADOS will say, like, Black Americans are their own ethnic group. Okay, but then when I say, does that include other African Americans from, the Dominican Republic, Haiti? They'll be like, no, because they didn't go through Jim Crow. And I said, that's not what an ethnic group is. An ethnic group means a people who does this. And the person will be like, yeah, but see, they didn't go through Jim Crow and stuff like that. I'm just like, Jim Crow is not a culture. That's an experience. That's not a culture. And so I think we have to address that issue. Is like this idea that you can have these contradictory viewpoints and think that you're making sense or you're making a point.
But I would just ignore that. I mean,
like you're Native American. Black people were the real Native Americans. Black people are
first
the
of
real
all,
Native Americans, but Native Americans are referred to as the red race, but you call yourself black.
right. But Jabari, the thing about that, the same thing
Like,
that the
y'all see what I
ADOS
mean?
and
Like, the contradiction is just ridiculous.
right, but I'm saying these people are the same as the people who spend every Sunday, Wednesday, and whenever in church, right? They looking for something so that they don't have to do what they need to do. You know what I'm saying? Because you can be like, oh, we the original indigenous this, we the original indigenous that. Okay, well, okay, yeah, that sounds good, but in the what was it? The 1866 Indian treaties. You got right there written in black and white where you own land and everything, where you are owed, land and benefits and entrance into the tribes, into the Seminole tribe, the Creek tribe, the Cherokee tribe, all these different tribes that you're supposed to be a part of. So instead of talking on live streams, why aren't y'all putting together a class action to go back in here and get back in your tribe? Because it's not about what they claim, and it's not about the knowledge that they drop in. It's literally about what devil can I blame so I don't have to take responsibility for myself.
Correct.
They can't afford it.
But those lawsuits are already there, but the people don't want to support. Dr. Claude Anderson have those lawsuits about those same treaties already, but they don't want to support him because they want to, discredit anything. But those lawsuits are already there and just need more funds for attorney representation.
Dario.
Yeah.
They can't afford it because they're spending all their money on straightening combs.
Come on now.
But yeah, it's all the same. Everything is set up to do nothing. That's why people fund DVDs and about racism, like you didn't grow up with racism. All this stuff is just it's likes, it's shares, it's giving $2, $5, $100 here. It's the gender wars. It's everything, and it's not even. It's like white people don't even have to do anything. You know what I'm saying? They got their institutions and whatever in place that's meant to do what they supposed to do, and that shit is on cruise control. But when you sit up here and have these conversations with people, and you be like, well, okay, hey man, I understand, you want to support the brother making documentaries, but how many fucking documentaries you gonna make?
Buck breaking.
Oh no, not that.
It's called cultural prostitution.
And the documentaries are not on stuff that's actually butt breaking.
Because what it is that the people is cultural prostitution, and what it is that we see that seriously. We see that you can get money on talking about things like buck breaking. You will get more money for making a documentary about buck breaking than you would about nationhood. Period. And that lands on us though. All of that stuff lands on us. Just like when you were talking about people would rather talk about their Native American and everything else. Anything to make you, one, feel good, and B, to make you more distant from your African culture. Like that's a first important. Some people will get angry if you say let's go to Africa. Well, they'll just talk about all the reasons why you can't go to Africa. They'll say stupid stuff like crime and corruption. Like, nigga, you in America. What are you talking about? It literally makes no sense. It makes no sense, but you would rather be around everybody else instead of wanting to wake up and all you seeing is a sea of black faces. That right there, for me, sold. That's all I need, sold. Everything else we could talk about and work out. But no, nigga, do you have Wi-Fi? Can I go and finance the car? Do they have this little white girl for me to fuck on? Like that's what's important to us. That's the stuff that we won't admit. We'll go all off into this psychobabble about nothing. But really, it just comes down to we love America because it's so comfortable. So comfortable.
Hey, does anybody want to feel that?
And can I address Umoja's point real quick about
Yeah, I'll read it after Jabari finishes. Go ahead, Jabari.
Yeah, I'll answer two questions, the one before and that. Yes. So the thing about it is, like, this man then does butt breaking with the rainbow colors, and I'm just like, so you're making a documentary about people who were forcibly raped, and you're calling that LGBT. Like, this is why, like, it's a joke. Like, that's why nobody takes it serious. You're not even giving an accurate documentary. So you're literally going to mock your own ancestors who could not choose to consent to that, and you think that putting a rainbow flag is gonna make it a good documentary? Any critic's gonna point that out to you. And then when you do, he doesn't want to challenge real people. And you notice this. And I'll let answer this, but I'll say this. Notice how nobody in the conscious community want to go up against somebody who really knows stuff. Notice how they always on IG Live, on Facebook Live, talking to random average people who ain't educated. Because if you go up against somebody like us who really knows stuff, they're gonna be made a fool.
Question in the chat. The other issue. Question in the chat we got from Baruti again is does Nicole Hannah Jones work, the 1619 Project, does her work help us, or does it give academic
weight, I guess.
Academic weight to the notion that African Americans should be preoccupied with the U.S. as opposed to Africa? Are Nicole Hannah Jones and YC in the same camp?
I guess that's Yvette Cornell.
They are. Period. In the discussion. Yeah, that's Yvette Cornell. Yeah, same. Period. and
either you're a nationalist,
like I said, I've done a lot of research on this, which is on the same question.
Shabari on the line.
Yeah, I just want to address the point real big, because this be irking me when people talk about African American history. Stop acting like African Americans just stayed in America. It's irking. Americans who fought for the Dominican Republic, founding from Spain. If you didn't know that, for goodness sakes, one of the founding fathers was African Americans. There were African Americans in Trinidad, African Americans in Nova Scotia. Can we just stop this notion of, like, see, and that's why maybe what we need to start doing is pushing this. No, we weren't here. All of us actually did say, you know what, it's time to leave. But I just had to address that, because it's infuriating when people talk about African American history just from, see, we did this, like Benjamin Banneker and the Joy and the Truth. Stop giving me the same old people. You're supposed to be the expert, right? You say we don't know enough, but you don't know enough yourself. But okay.
We have to realize.
And then for African design, because I know he has that question. For African Media Design Lab, this question, he says, where can I learn more about Liberia? You can send me an email, and I can give you a lot of PDFs, a lot of stuff on that if you want. Just let me know. It's DariusLam2018@gmail.com. Just let me know, and you just email me, and then I can give you a lot of stuff on Liberia. So just let me know. But there are some stuff, like you can look up the African Repository, the Liberian Herald. I would also look at the Historical Preservation Society of Liberia. Focus on Liberia, but just if you want to, I can send you some of this stuff. Just email me, and I will gladly give you some information.
Go ahead, Umoja.
We have to realize that the stance of Black people loving America is going to continue to win. And I say that because there's so many different facets. Like the nationalist view is we need to leave America. That's our strongest and hardest point. And also that is the most vicious deal breaker for the average Black person. And what I mean is, it's like you got all the tools that you got for this chick, but her main deal breaker is that let's say you smoke cigarettes. and you ain't trying to stop. So she's like, man, you bomb, you got a good job, you seem like a good person, you nice, you got everything together, but you smell like Newports every time I see you, and I just can't do it. I'm allergic or whatever. And that's the similar thing that nationhood is to the average Black American. They're not trying to leave America, and that's why. See, we have one strong point, and it's the only point that we need to talk about. However, the integrationists, the Black Power American, they have several points that they could point to, because America is so fucked up for Black people. They could point to all of this. We need to educate our kids here. Okay, of course we do. Damn. We need to fix the legal system here. Oh, of course we do. Damn. We need to get reparations. Oh, of course we do. So you see what I'm saying? They keep on playing this game. They keep on playing this cat and mouse, Batman and Robin game with America that obviously is going to be fully seen. And America is not slow. They need these people to keep the system going. They need people to be going out saying vote, to be going out saying racism, to be going out saying police brutality, while nothing is actually changing at its core. But it also keeps the people who do have a heart for their people, it gives them something to fight for. It gives them something to wake up and fight for and complain about and reach towards. As opposed to saying, you know what, I'm gonna put my energy on actually seeing what's up with this Liberia movement. I'm gonna actually put my energy into seeing, man, maybe I should go at least visit Africa. But that's not on the table because we love America so much and we so focused on the problems here that we actually see that saying, hey, why am I focused on the problem when there's a simple solution that I just have to work for? We see that as running. A lot of us see that as running. You run and your ancestors will be mad at you. What? And it's actually crazy. It's literally crazy. But that's how we think. That's the thought process of the average Black American, and that's why it's so hard for them to get out of that, because there's so much to fight for here in America. Even though you're getting your ass whooped, you still fighting. Fight the power.
I would argue that they're not even fighting. They're just taking an ass whooping.
Speaking of which,
at least in a fight, you like occasionally went around. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you just getting waxed.
Also say,
let me say this last point, Jay, before you start cooking. Yesterday, so I follow one of this brother who I really respect too, man. He's a Black Power American, but I respect him because he's a lawyer. He fights for the people and everything. They've been organizing this huge Black Power American march in Tulsa, Oklahoma, for obvious reasons. And they was there yesterday, and they was doing a live stream, and I clicked on it because I followed the dude, so I seen it. I click on it. These Negroes have hundreds of Black Power Americans, out of dozens of them in their little Black Power suits with their guns, you know, looking all Black Panther-ish. And in the background, you see all of them holding a big ass banner that says reparations now. And I just shook my head, and I even left a comment like, I left a comment there, and I said the irony of a bunch of people with weapons marching saying Black Power, asking for reparations from your enemy. Like power is being in control of your own land in your own country or something like that. And that's just what I saw. It gets me so irritated. Like you Negroes gonna get all your guns, all this stuff, and you literally screaming talking about Black Power. Like, do you know what that means? What does it mean? And all the comments literally was just like Black Power, hearts. Black Power, black heart. Black Power. People. I'm like, seriously, what's wrong with you people?
We're gonna emoji our way to power.
Right. It's crazy. It's literally crazy, man. It's nuts.
But that's the point, because that's why all of these people that we talk about that come up in conversation, these Tariqs, these Umars, these remember Cynthia G's, the whoever, all these people allow their followers to basically live viscerally through them. That's all they support, is somebody to get up there and just say what it is they want to say. It's the same thing with Fox News. Tucker Carlson gets up there and says all his little dog whistle stuff and the rest of it, and then, you know, was really bad with all the other ones. That's what they support, because they can't they don't have the power to go to the job and be like, white man, blah, blah, blah. I know I'm the last hired, first fired, blah, 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 blah. But this person can sit over here and talk, go back to your cave, and they cheer that on like it's really something. So I feel like a lot of times the problem with the serious side of the movement is it's fucking boring. You know what I'm saying? Like is we, you know, most of the people that you deal with in this part of the circle, I'm talking about after you been through church hopped from the Black Truths to the Tariqs to the Umars to the whoever, and you finally get to that point, you'd be like, damn, all this shit is a big circle jerk, and if we don't get our own shit, it don't matter anyway. Then you get around intellectuals, and the way we discuss the stuff is intellectually, and most people are fucking stupid. And you got to break it down into tiny little bits for them so that it's interesting and it's cool and they can take it in and they can take in talking points. And that's all Fox News has done for the past 30 years. They put everything into talking points that people can remember. Oh, what about Chicago? What about Venezuela? Okay, you say, well, what about Venezuela? Socialism and guns. Okay. And they know nothing else.
It's like a monkey throwing shit against the wall.
Right.
It's literally like a monkey throwing shit against the wall. They're just trying to see what's going to stick.
What's going to stick? And so my suggestion always is, and I say it all the time to Hollop and Jabari when we talk or whatever, is that, you know, we got to make our movement younger and put fresh faces on it. Not that we have to change what it is we're talking about or what we're doing or what the goal is, but having 90-second, 2-minute videos of a younger Black woman, Black man, talking about our history in Liberia, our connection to Liberia, talking about land infrastructure nationhood. And our people are on Fiverr waiting to make that little change. You know, they get up there and they shield for everybody else. We might as well make them shield for us.
My man Dominique
really
L's from the NBA and off the court.
Yeah, I think.
Can you answer that question? Underrated.
We don't take donations. We don't.
Oh, the one that Job just posted up there.
Mm-hmm.
What type of dope? Yeah, we don't take donations, Job.
And they're not our policies.
Yeah. Ja, and part of the reason why we don't just take donations is because most of us here have been a part of organizations that would take donations, or you have to pay a monthly membership fee and nothing is getting done, or there's no accountability for your money. So we believe that the people working on organizing and working on getting up out of here is donating enough until we actually have a solid plan, well, not even a solid plan, but actually, let me say, solid use for the funds. Like we're actually need to send people over to do some footwork in Liberia, or we actually need some people to go visit Senegal to go meet with some representatives or something like that. So we don't work on donations. And what's interesting about that is that you will have people who will talk about the BAIO or who will mention something just in passing, trying to be flippant, and they'll say something about not having time to be a part of an organization and paying monthly dues. And nowhere in our writing is there anything about paying anything monthly. We literally just want people and people's brain power and organizational skills. So you can keep your donation, you know, or you could save that until we're ready to go to Liberia next year and come with us. Donate to yourself, your own African fund. How about that?
Can I address it too?
Yeah, I'm about to say, like, y'all about to say, you know, y'all about to say. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, what I was going to say is the only thing that we need you to donate is your time.
Go ahead, Olive, and then I'll.
The most important thing that you can do is to share the content and pass it around and post it on your social media platforms so that other people see what we're talking about. But I just want to make this one point when it comes to the whole concept of donations. Does the United States of America take donations, or do you pay taxes?
Taxes.
And that's all I'll say about that.
You pay taxes.
So I don't think we should even be talking about donations and people doing this. And when we have our own government, we can collect taxes from our citizens. How about that?
Yeah, and also I would say, ways that you can help us is just contribute to, like writing articles for us. Like we have a Medium, we have the Liberia 2025, right there, share the content, because the stuff that we're doing, like I said, or you can go with us next year because we're going to be trying to bring a lot more people next year. But we don't take money because we have to have a concrete plan. It's not just, we take money, but we got to have the people, who are the people that are going to sponsor us, who are going to be the people who are going to help, build these projects. We can't just get the money and not know what to do with it, because then that's going to create less trust.
We got a question in the chat from Fly Guy 535.
I would say that's really sad and unfortunate, because
who is he referring to?
Yeah, I'll address that. It's really a shame because you can be for land infrastructure. He's talking about people who they were part of the BIO, or they may have been interested in the BIO, but once they got like things going, they decided to dip out. And I'll just say it's unfortunate because you can still be for LIN. You can still have your own individual projects going while still supporting it. It's not an either or. You can be doing your business in the continent of Africa while also helping to set up. It's not an either or. So when I see you like do that, I have to question, were you really, fully for this, or was it just?
I'd like to know who he's talking about. Fly Guy, if you can put their name in the chat, because I haven't heard anybody. I haven't heard anybody talking shit about us that used to be in the group, to my knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Is anybody else? Because I'm pretty, out of the loop with a lot of things, so it's possible that I don't know.
No, Daryl, he been kind of giving me some hints. I'm playing.
Who, me? Did you say me?
I noticed a few things about you, man.
Who, me? Oh yeah, it's me.
Talking about he opened up.
I do my best.
Dropping a diss track.
Oh man! Hey, I did learn. I did learn Adobe Audition a couple of days ago because I had to make something for my wife, and so now I'm getting into the little track mixing and stuff like that too. So I'm wait for the diss track.
Oh, y'all heard that? Richard Rebbo, if I'm pronouncing it correct, he said, "Look, my brother, I am from Liberia but living in Sweden. You guys must do everything possible to come home."
And there it is.
Yeah, there it is. And to me, also, it's really not even.
You know what? I do want to address that. He said something about people joining the BIO and crapping on the organization once they got their own individual projects going. It just seems, I don't know, it seems kind of weird because what's the project? They forming a nation with their project? Like I don't understand like how are we competing with anybody's individual project since we're talking about collectively having a nation for our people? We're not talking about creating some small black business. Or we're not talking about real estate. Or we're not talking about any of these individual things that people are doing. I have no problem with. And it does not conflict with the BAIO. So the only way I can see it conflicting with the BIO is somebody trying to start a nation? Because if that's the case, why the fuck ain't they with the BAIO? That doesn't make it doesn't make any fucking sense to me. I'm just do I feel alone in this, or do y'all understand what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I understand. I mean, what is the project? First off, and right, just
whatever project.
Yeah, like I said, you can do your own individual projects and still be part of the bill. You can still do your business.
Yeah, this is not in conflict. We have a lot of different groups and organizations inside of the BAIO. So it's like, I don't understand that. Like, what's the need to crap on us as an organization? Really crap on us as a social network, because we're not really even a traditional organization when you think about it. We're basically like a social network.
Hey, Richard.
He's actually what they're really asking about are those
Richard,
people that get on
please sign up to the website. Your connection.
Oh yeah, he was telling Richard to sign up to the website. I hope you signed up, Richard. I put the link in the scroll. You see the thing scrolling at the bottom?
And what he's talking about, some of those guys that get on those channels, they go to talking bad. Harlop, you addressed a few of them, the so-called Black Africa Strike Back and all those that talk as though they've been with the BIO or at least the concept. And then once
God, are we talking about that idiot? That's who we talking about?
Those type of idiots. That's who they are really talking about. And then they try to say, well, you haven't done anything and anything like that. So it's the people that ride on the concept until they get where they're going. And that's just people with no integrity or character. And they try to and I've had to address them on the other channel. Guys, stop letting your ego, just because you think you got something going. Now nobody's ever done anything. Nobody's ever done a trip to Africa. And people have to tell them, guys. And I've addressed the people with the channel individually, say you need to check these people and stop bringing them on as though they're the end all be all to everything, because they're going to hurt your own brand.
First of all,
that's what they're talking about.
Scam Africa back.
Yes.
That's what we're talking about? Scam Africa?
Yes. No. Folks.
Scam Africa Strikes Back ain't got shit going on except trying to rip people off for $25 a month. And the only reason why he's upset with me is because I wouldn't go for that bullshit. I'm not donating to fucking nothing without transparency and without a plan. Fuck you and fuck your little website with some one dude running it that you think that's a secure site. You ask the people to come up out of pocket and pay you money. See, I didn't go through any of this on Dinah's show just out of respect for Dinah's format.
Right.
But if he really wanted me to get deep into it, I could have blew him up and let people know exactly why I wasn't fucking with that dude. And that dude was never a part of the BAIO. Him, that fucking Lester Jenkins, that fucking Jamal dude or whatever the fuck his name is. All of those dudes.
Remember that dude?
Hold on. All of those dudes have to live off of us because nobody's checking for them. That's why they got to go on Dinah's program, because Dinah has a functional, successful channel.
Correct.
None of them have shit on their own. They got to live off of him. They got to live off of us. They can't do nothing on their own because nobody likes them. The more they talk, the more people hate them.
That's why they try to take down
the more they run their mouth, the more people get turned off by what they got to say. So fuck all of them niggas.
Yeah, it's about 4 or 5 of them that consistently, and I reached out to them and said, guys, you need to keep those guys away because your people in the comments don't like them at all. No.
I didn't know that's what he was talking about because those dudes are so off of my radar that I didn't even fucking thinking about them.
Right. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, Dennis, they even tried. Yeah, Dennis. Yeah, Dennis. But they tried. Yeah, they tried to sabotage us. They tried to sabotage us. They tried. We was about to get real serious about what they was going to do with us.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Faith. We're just talking about basically, those militant integrationists who are in America taking L's and why it's better to go to Liberia. That's what we're talking about. She's one of the new subscribers from Liberian TV, so she just got in, so I just want to tell her what's going on. But that's what we're talking about, basically. Talking about why those people who want to spend so much time staying in America instead of trying to develop Liberia are just taking L's. So we always tell them, Liberia is the best place to go. And speaking of which, that's why that dude tried to take down our video. That's why they tried to take down our video. That's why because now they're getting frightened. Because see, now we're making moves and people are starting to see us.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they was really terrified.
Yep. The more you hear them
run their mouth,
they like the Hillary
video. The dude tried to pull a stunt on us and basically said, "Oh, go ahead," and then I'll respond.
No, what I was saying is, oh no, go ahead, Jabari.
Oh no, I said go ahead because I wanted to let you say it before I respond.
Now you can go ahead.
Yeah, but they're getting frightened. That's why they try to pull the stunt on, oh, he ain't really part of the BIO. He's like, oh, he ain't really part of the BIO. He ain't part of this. And they're getting scared because we're making moves. Now that we're talking to actual organizations, actual people, actual universities, now they're fearing that it's going to become irrelevant. They're going to become irrelevant now because we're bringing on real people. And it's not just me talking. Because see,
what the sad part is?
All those people, they only talk about themselves. They ain't making no connection to local organizations. They ain't speaking to national organizations.
You know what the sad part is? The sad part is that they don't know that they're already irrelevant.
What's the sad part? No, I don't.
Well, we got a mad delay.
Yeah.
You notice that? We got a mad delay. No, what I said was the sad part is that they don't realize that they're already irrelevant.
Is it coming from me?
Yeah, it is, Jabari. The delay.
You might want to log off and come back in.
Yeah.
Because your delay is mad long.
And let me say this: what most of our
Can y'all hear me now?
Who's that?
Jabari. Yeah, we can hear you.
That was Jabari?
Yeah.
I want to make sure my delay wasn't there.
Yeah, that sounds a little
Okay, I'm about to get out for a second.
Yeah, that sounds a little better.
So, wait, was it Burial or Hollow that was making a point?
Hollow was about to say something about the irrelevancy, but
yeah, what I was going to say was most people here really don't realize we're not African American anyway, because when you are one/the other, that means you have citizenship or come from a country or a nation, and now you're a citizen in another country or nation that you obtain citizenship. So even the moniker of African American is really not a true anything to us anyway. You're either American or period. Until you
well, that's why it's there as a reminder. It's there as a reminder. Yeah. Because when you say American, you thinking about whoever down the street or whatever, but they it's that reminder as in you here, but don't get comfortable. Well, get comfortable, just don't sit on the couch.
Yeah. If you're gonna really be African American, then you need that nationhood in off the continent.
We need to be Rick. We need to be Rick James, doing Rick James on that couch.
Right.
Fuck your couch, nigga.
Yeah. But your boy Richard here in the chat makes a good point when just saying that can you buy land in the USA for $1,000? You can, but you don't want it.
Oh shit!
But in Liberia you can. One of the things I was going to say early on is that I continually believe that the one thing we need to be focused on is the credo of the BAIO, Land Infrastructure Nationhood. We need to buy as many $1,000 plots or do whatever we can do as much as possible, because no matter where you go, land ownership means something, and we'll run across people who have manufacturing experience, so we can talk to. Hey man, they exporting all this rubber. What if we made tires here, or whatever you make out of rubber? Because I don't know what you make out of rubber or whatever. But those resources are there. But again, these countries, whether we're talking about the Americans, the Chinese, or whomever, they come in to get resources, and they pitching around millions and billions of dollars to do it. We're not in a position to do that. However, we are in a position to be able to do what we can do in order to sit up here and really just get the ball rolling. Because once you start showing people, hey man, look, it may not be a big factory, but it's a factory. It may even be a call center. We may put people on the phone and get around different U.S. laws for telemarketing and shit like that, like other countries do. Other AT&T and the rest of them do when they go over there to India, open up a whole damn call center and get around U.S. law that way. So we don't know. I'm just saying, doing something beats doing nothing. I guess was the point I was trying to make.
Baruti has another question. He said to the panelists, what is the ideological source of the negative energy given by African American YouTubers and continental African
organization? When you're going as individuals, you get prone to the idea of scammers. But when you come as a collective, when you come as an organization, when you come as a group, like what we're doing, making connections with Liberian organizations, making connections with, the University of William B. S. Tubman University, making connections with these organizations, it adds credibility. When you're coming by yourself, then it's kind of like they may be coming here as individuals. But when we're coming like us, the BAO, we're organized. We know what we want. And that's going to allow more of us to get trust. There's going to be more trust because they know that there's an actual organization, there's a sense of transparency. So, Baruti, that would be the point as to why the ideological source may come from. Now, we could say that, the Chinese and the Lebanese, but the difference is that they're coming from their country. Okay, they're coming from their country, so we know what countries they're coming from, and we can address it with their ambassadors. Okay, with African Americans coming to Africa as individuals, they really can't address that because we don't have a nation state. So who are they going to speak to when they scam? Who are they going to basically say to stop this? They're going to go to the U.S. embassy, and then the U.S. is going to create this whole, chaotic situation. So that's why I said it's best to go as an org so that things can be addressed.
So is the question that is he asking that African American YouTubers are saying that African Americans who go to the continent are scammers, or I'm not understanding the question the way it's written.
I think it's more continental. I think it's more continental Africans, because I have seen continental Africans on YouTube talk about, be aware of African Americans coming to Africa, and that's a result of when you don't have an org. So that's where it's coming from. It's coming more. I've seen some African YouTubers talk about that, and I just want to make it clear that the BL, we are principled, so you don't have to worry about us doing none of that because we care about organization. But there is that concern.
Yeah, we're not asking for money. We're not revolving around donations and money and membership fees and all of that dumb shit. We're more concerned about people who are ideologically of like mind.
And anyway, the easiest way to tell whether somebody's a scammer or not is if they feed your pain without a solution. If somebody will talk about what you're going through repeatedly, you getting your ass whooped or whatever, and they never talk to you about getting out. They never give you a number to a homeless shelter. They never say call 911 or do anything. Yeah, they fucking scamming you.
Yeah, it's very easy. It ain't that difficult.
It's really, really not. None of this is difficult. None of this is as difficult as we make it out to be. But it was like you were saying a little bit earlier. People are waiting for the perfect plan. And until they feel like they have the perfect plan that they can't straw man to death, then they're not going to move, which essentially means they don't want to move anyway. So you want to move or you don't. Are there scammers in Africa? Yes. Are there scammers in America? Yes. Jesus Christ, we just got through telling you that that Bezos got $10 billion and hadn't launched one rocket.
And I'll think about this. I'll say this. I think the problem is like what Umoja said earlier. It's a trend. You have to make it a trend. You have to make it cool. We have to do that because people follow trends. If people see there's a trend of African Americans moving to Liberia, people are going to be more interested. So yeah. Ja, as of right now, the dual citizenship has not been passed. It failed. So dual citizenship is not currently being enacted right now, but we're still pushing, and we're gonna try to see what we can do. Hopefully next year, since it's 2022, hopefully they'll consider that. But as of right now, it's not there yet. Yeah, but we're still pushing it. We're still pushing it, and we're still talking about it. So yeah. By the way, if y'all want to come on, let us know. We're glad to have y'all talk. Like, we just don't want to be like, we would like to have y'all participate. If y'all want any more information on Liberia specifically, I can email y'all that. Or y'all can email me just so y'all can stay up to date, because we're gonna need people who are educated and informed on this. So, if you can, I'll email it to you. I'm also gonna start doing like YouTube videos on just, things on Liberia and the history of Liberia specifically in depth. I don't feel like my personal thing is, I think we're done with the live streams because we've done so many of them and we've made our point so often that it's kind of like, redundant. So I think right now we just need to, educate on the history and just, see how it goes. But that's my opinion.
Yeah, those are the type of donations we need. We need people donating their time, making posts about land infrastructure nationhood, sharing content about land infrastructure nationhood. Even if you don't have a microphone and whatever, where you can actually make a video, you can at least make a post and get the conversation started. You know what I'm saying? It's like we need more people talking about it so that it becomes a grassroots type of movement. It can't just be a few people talking about it. It has to be where this resonates with people and they pass this information around and they talk about it, because it's really just that simple. Should we have a nation of our own? Do you think that would be a solution to our problems collectively? And I'm quite sure if you put it like that to most people who don't have this, who's not married to these stupid ideologies, they would agree with you. But what I find often is that we like sit back and wait for somebody else to do shit. And that's what the problem is. It's like we don't feel like our voices are important and stuff. And that's what I keep trying to tell people, that your voice is important. Anytime you put it out there, what you believe in, that's just one more person added to the army. It's way more important than if you just sit back and do nothing and wait for somebody else to do it. And like I said, we're not asking for blood and urine samples. You know what I'm saying? It's like pass the video around, share the content, create the content. Let people know that you are for nationhood. Nobody's going to arrest you. You're not going to go to jail because you're for land infrastructure nationhood. I don't know what people have been saying to you, but nobody's come knocking on my door trying to arrest me because I'm for black people. Nobody's threatened to take away my job because I'm for black people. So I don't know why people are so afraid and so fucking scared to let people know that, yeah, I'm for my people. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing. It's not illegal. It's not legally wrong. It's not morally wrong. There's nothing wrong with being for your people. Why are people so fucking scared?
Because they want to say, well, I'm for my people, but I won't be loved by them anymore. That's the issue.
Oh.
They still want love and approval from the others.
Well, you know what?
That's what.
I can eat my cornflakes in the morning. They digest very well. And people need to get that type of thing. It's like, who gives a shit about these people? Are these people helping you? Like, what is their love or them loving you doing for you?
It's getting them to the
heavens. Is it helping you? Is it making your life any better? So why is it so fucking important that they love you?
It keeps them out of hell.
They're already in it. That's the crazy part. It doesn't keep them out of hell.
You go burn.
That's the crazy part.
I know that. It's the afterlife they want. That's why. I'm just saying. They in hell already.
Well, then die, nigga. There's no quicker way to get to the afterlife than to just die. Take yourself out of here, and that way you can enjoy this wonderful afterlife that everybody keeps telling me is so fucking fantastic.
He said,
why are you living here? What is the purpose of living on this earth when you can get to the afterlife? That makes sense to me.
He said, why live in hell and then die and go back? Look.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they want the streets paved with gold versus the continent full of gold.
Baruti, fuck Candace Owens.
Oh shit.
Candace Owens is a grifter. Just a hot minute ago, she was a Democrat.
Yeah, that was pre-2016.
We don't need to deal with the grifters. None of these fucking people are important.
Nope.
They're not important. Nope. They're irrelevant.
They're trying to get a check. They just trying to get a check.
None of these individuals are important. None of them. There's no need to form no alliances with them. They fucking suck. And they get paid well by white people to talk shit about black people. That's the reason why they made the change.
And they are married to the white.
Republicans pay better than Democrats when it comes to talking about black people. That's the only reason why there's black Republicans and conservatives. And just because I hate neoliberals and just because I hate the Democratic Party don't mean that I love the Republicans or conservatives and the Republican Party. Fuck both of them.
Fuck both of them. 2021.
Are we children? Are we children? What is this? Is this the MAC or something?
The MAC.
I mean, what are people? I really wonder about people's intelligence level. Like, they act really like fucking prostitutes. So just because it's like Goldie comes up to you and says, "Pretty Tony ain't no good. You need to get with me," and then you're like, "Well, yeah, I better get with Goldie because what the fuck is wrong with you?"
I'm choosing.
How about acknowledging the fact that both of those niggas are pimps? Both of them.
You're gonna get pimped out either way.
You trying to pick which one you should roll with? Fuck the Republicans, fuck the Democrats, fuck American politics in general. Fuck it.
Yeah, but I mean, everything is crafted like that. Everything is crafted to be divisive and to have you on some kind of team. Are you left or right? Democrat, Republican, fucking with the Patriots or the Cowboys, everything. And so as long as they can keep up that bipolar, I don't even want to call it bipolar mindset, where people can't walk and chew bubble gum at the same damn time, then during the pandemic, where people are begging for $600 damn, the 1% can make what, $1.68 trillion and increase their wealth. And so it's all the same thing, man. It's all social engineering. It's all just keeping people on that what they say in The Wolf of Wall Street, on that hamster wheel.
Yeah.
Because if they ever get off the wheel, if they ever ask for their money, ask for that check and really go after it, then it becomes real. But as long as they, I'm invest in this, I'm gonna invest in that.
This whole
instead
thing
of money,
is a house
it's just
of
your money.
cards.
Yeah.
It's a house of cards. If you think Jeff Bezos can cash in, there ain't no tucking $200 billion worth of liquid capital that he can just cash in.
No.
It's all fucking X's and O's and fucking zeros and ones on a screen.
We got a question in the chat from Baruti. He says, holla, there should be a narrative campaign to group Black Republicans like Candace Owens and the Civil Rights Crew together as integrationists and sellouts. Your thoughts on this?
Why do we have to do that when it's already been done? Like, I don't see them. Like, I think that universally people see them as that. They see them as integrationists and sellouts.
And in truth, that's kind of part of the problem, right? Instead of being laser focused on one thing, no matter what it is, I wouldn't care if it was civil rights, making $1 billion, land infrastructure, nationhood. Instead of being focused and saying, this is what we're doing, it always seems like our peoples have to stop for a minute and look out the window. Candace Owens is a sellout. Or kill a Pete on somebody. So why do you care? Okay, it's not serving you. To sit up here and even give them people any that's why they pay them. Because they know that they can amp you up and there go the tweets, there go the Facebook posts, there go the videos.
They're so off of my radar, man.
I'm gonna talk about somebody, and I never try to mention their name. Boyce Watkins has literally been irrelevant
for
over a year and a half. Literally over a year and a half. And until he made it, because this is supposed to be an economist making a video about a basketball player, and it's not the first thing he do it, but he had some respect, and when the dude said something back to him, now, okay, people is paying attention. Most of these people are clout chasers. People are clout chasers.
All of them are.
Yeah, just about all of them. Cloud chasers and attention whores trying to figure out how to get 1 million followers on Instagram, 1 million followers on YouTube, 10,000 people in their damn Patreon to sell you back what you already know, or to sell that influence. You know what I'm saying? To somebody. The Economist. Not one paper, not one anything written. At least, for God's sakes, Dr. Claude Anderson wrote Powernomics and gave you an actual written down on paper plan. Okay, if we're going to do it here, this is how we got to do it. And yet and still, people will still ask you, well, how do we get started? What do we do? I don't know. Fucking read a book. I don't know.
Do people remember before? Actually, I would even say it was before 9/11, but I think the start of the whole 24-hour news cycle started with OJ.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Prior to OJ, it wasn't like this.
Wow.
But when OJ, that whole trial came and they saw that was a newsworthy event and people was interested in it, it became a 24-hour news cycle. So let me ask you a question. And it's the same thing with these YouTube content creators. How do you create daily content where there's nothing to fucking talk about?
Yeah, you make shit up.
Yeah, you just make shit up. You create shit up. You create controversies. You create beefs. You do whatever you can to keep people dialed into your bullshit. That's why I'm not on that hamster wheel of content creation where I got to put out something every fucking day. I put it out when I feel like it because my channel has always been a way for me to express myself. It hasn't been there for clicks and views, and it has not been there for me to get rich because I don't need it to pay my bills. So you're going to get the most honest, uncorrupted opinion when you listen to me because nobody's paying me. I don't give a fuck about YouTube. YouTube can't tell me what I can say and what I can't say. They can't stop me from making money because I don't make no money off of them. This is the reason why I said whenever you get into that, when you start making money off the struggle, that's a slippery slope. Because then you become invested in the struggle. If the struggle stops, you stop making money.
Exactly.
How is that not a conflict of interest?
How do people not know that?
Could you imagine? Let me just propose this. Let's say you could not make money off the struggle. Let's just, in a perfect world, nobody was allowed to make money off the struggle. Would these same people be actively involved in the nationhood process?
No, they'd be making music. Oh, I forgot they are, because you can do that, and you can not be a serious intellectual, but be considered a serious intellectual.
They'd be doing something else.
All right.
They'd be doing something else. They wouldn't be doing this. But look at us. Look at the people within the BAIO. We are all working class people. We all doing our own thing. And we come together to talk about this stuff in our spare time. Nobody pays us to do it. So that's the reason why you can listen to forums like this and get the unfiltered truth. But instead of people listening to the unfiltered truth, what are they listening to? Click and view bullshit from black talking heads who have no vested interest to make a solution to this problem. And if you want to know what the hamster wheel is, that's the hamster wheel defined.
And the sad thing about that is most people, when you come to them with that kind of logic, they don't even believe you. They think you hate them.
Yeah, and Dr. Wilkins admitted to his titles being clickbait to get more views. He finally admitted to that. But the major thing is, if you're a professor in finance and you talking about stock and you're talking about black people, why haven't you talked to them about the stock markets in Africa? Why haven't you you got Dr. Claude Anderson coming on your program, but you yourself is not facilitating anything about nationhood. So it's really, really self-absorbing and self-serving is really what it's all about.
The serious people who I know who are about nationhood have signed up to the BAIO. They don't seem to have a problem becoming a part of us. The people that's just talking shit are not. It's real simple for me. I don't have no confusion about who these people are. Are you a member of the BAIO? Do you know about the BAIO? Because the only excuse you can have is if you don't know who we are. But if you know who we are and you've heard our message and heard what we're about and you haven't become a part of us, you are full of shit. I don't give a fuck who you are.
If you haven't signed up for the BAIO.
I don't care who you are. That's friends and associates included. If you haven't signed up to the BAIO, I don't give a fuck what you got to say because you're full of shit. How are we supposed to take? You mean to tell me we relying on people to go overseas, be boots on the ground, and be a part of a nation when they can't even sign up to a free fucking website? But I'm going to trust that you're going to get a passport and go over there and be boots on the ground with your black fists up. Nationhood, get the fuck out of here. You ain't going to do shit, nigga. You ain't going to do shit. Yeah, because Watkins is comfortable being here in America. He's not the only one, which is the reason why I don't really attack him, because it's not just about him. He's irrelevant. All of these individuals are irrelevant. None of them mean shit in the grand scheme of things. Who cares? I made this point before. I made this point before, but I'll make it again. Let's say Boyce Watkins is real. Let's say Boyce Watkins is not real. Let's say Umar Johnson is real. Let's say Umar Johnson is not real. Let's say Tariq Nasheed is real. Let's say Tariq Nasheed is not real. What the fuck difference does it make? What difference does it make? So we can feel good about saying their name? How is it affecting us collectively, whether they're real or they're not real? We get so caught up in these fucking individuals, man. I don't give a fuck. None of these people are on my timeline. I don't get no notifications from them. The only reason why I even know they fucking name is because people talk about them. If we were to dedicate 15% of that energy toward the BAIO and land infrastructure nationhood and passing around the content and talking about the content, we have thousands of members, hundreds of thousands of members. But we wasting time talking about black talking heads who we already know ain't for their people. They ain't for the people. They for themselves and for their fucking brand. Are we confused about that? Does that need more breaking down? We ain't figured that shit out by now?
How further can you go?
Tell them how you really feel, Holly.
Man, fuck all these people. I don't give a shit. And that's why reason why I don't waste my time talking about them. You don't see no videos on my channel talking about them. Oh, this one ain't real. This one is a sellout. Who gives a fuck? I don't care if they real or sellout or whatever. What are we collectively going to do so that our people have a fucking future? And if it ain't about that, I'm not interested.
Agreed. I'm gonna have to get off. I have to go to the airport run, guys. It's been always educational. And
Thank
I'll
you,
meet
sir. Good to have you on. Hopefully we have you on next time.
Yeah, it's good to have you too, Mr. Dennis. It's good to have you. And I will say this.
I'm always listening to you guys.
Be safe.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Yeah, I will say this. You know, if you're not talking about, like you said, nation, or you're talking about Liberia, especially, I really don't like. I don't want to hear what you have to say, because we've broken it down. We've made the case. Well, the people who have heard about us, and you know, you're not making moves. You're not supporting us, like Hollis said. You know, there's really nothing for us to talk about. Like, there really isn't. You know, I've been advocating this same talking point for years, and so there's no excuses. You know, there just isn't. And that's honestly how I feel about the whole situation. So if you're not talking about Liberia, if you're not trying to connect with your Liberian brothers and sisters, I mean, what are you doing?
Facts. Underrated. What's your thoughts? You've been kind of quiet over there.
Oh dear. Well, when it comes to taking L's, I mean, at some point you gotta realize you need a new game plan. Like, sports is a great analogy, because I look at and this is something that I plan on doing for Underrated Thought, is LeBron James, when he came to the decision of him going to Miami after being in Cleveland for so long. At some point, if nothing's working in your favor and the organization or the government or whomever is not fixing it, or you don't even have control of it in the first place, then things got to change for you. And it's just like, you can't just sit here and complain about it, but for so long. And so when I look at this with Dominique Wilkins, I mean, it's just, I don't know. In a sense, he kind of set himself up for it. Like, let's think about this. This is a French restaurant in Buckhead, and I know the area because I live in Atlanta, so I know a little bit about Buckhead. And I don't know. It's just like it's like you can't really wear anything casual like that. I mean, yeah, you Dominique Wilkins, but come on, man. I mean, this is where we at. But I actually wanted to read a comment of what he said, though. It was off of his Twitter. So it says here, in many years in the world, I've eaten at some of the greatest restaurants in the world, but never have I felt prejudice or been turned away because of the color of my skin until today. Hashtag in Atlanta and then he says the restaurant's name. Hashtag turned away because I'm black. And that was it.
And of all these restaurants that he ate in across the world, what's the country that denied him access? America.
America.
And will he learn anything from that? No. Because I guarantee you he's going to go to another restaurant. Where? In America. And as long as that restaurant treats him right, he'll be okay.
I want to know what he ordered.
And you know what?
Sounds familiar? Remember,
and you know what? You have...
What was it?
I want to say this.
What was that?
Y'all can go ahead and...
What was that?
I'll say it.
I'm drawing a blank. Oh, Isaiah Bradley.
Isaiah Bradley
was experimented on, thrown in jail for 30 years. But all he wanted was acknowledgement. And that made up for everything.
Oh, from the Winter Soldier, Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, that made up for everything.
Gave him a statue that he gonna get paid for, none of that.
No paper, no nothing.
No royalties.
No paper, no nothing. No reparations, no making him whole after you done took his fucking life away. None of that. But you acknowledged that he existed, and that was enough. Boy, but we really love this fucking country.
But that's always the MO, right? Just with all of it. Even if you want to go back to the shootings, I mean, it is we are conditioned not to ask for anything. Because even in politics, we didn't ask the Democrats for shit in fucking ever. You know what I'm saying? And so, I truly, no, I'm not gonna say that. Anyway, we didn't ask them for anything, and I think that's a conditioned response, that we don't believe that we deserve anything, and until that mindset changes, everything else is off the table.
I went through this during Obama, when Obama was president. People were saying, stop bothering him about all this black stuff. He's not the president of black people. He's the president of America. And I said, no problem. Then why the fuck am I voting for him?
Exactly.
I'll accept you saying that. Fine. But why should I go and vote for him if I'm not getting nothing out of it? Well, you gotta keep that shit on, until he get in there, and then when he get in there,
Can I say something?
He was in there for fucking 8 years, and what happened? Go ahead, Jabbar.
And now he's making excuses. But I just gotta say this, and it really goes ham, right? So they said like less than half of Black Americans are proud of the American flag and what the American flag means. And I'm just like, so you don't like the national anthem, you don't like the flag, yet you still want to stay in the country that's oppressing you. You don't like nothing associated with the country, but you physically want to stay here. I don't understand what you're thinking. You're not the majority. You're dealing with immigrants, okay? Like, why are you literally, begging these people to adopt to your philosophy? Okay, because remember, like you said, Barack Obama is the president of all Americans. He's not the president of Black America. And it's simple. If you wanted a president just for Black America, why don't you just go to Liberia? We got 2 Liberians in this chat right now. 2 Liberian chats, Faith Williams and the other one, Richard, who is from Liberia, who are telling you you can go home. And for some reason, you don't want to even do that. They're literally telling you. We have the Zawadi interview. We have the Focus on Liberia interview. We had another African American sister that visited Liberia that I'm going to be talking with next week. We have Liberian TV talking about us. And like, y'all just completely want to forget about that. I don't understand. If you believe truly sincere that America is not going to change, you would say, you know what? It's time to pack my bags up. This ain't my home. And it's time for me to go where I belong. You know what? I'll never forget this. This reminds me of the one thing. If there's one thing, if you watched Alex Haley's Queen, Part 3, remember it was a slave owner. It was Queen. She was the daughter of a white master and a black slave, a mixed slave. Well, she was a quadroon. She was 3/4 white. But I remember watching her take her children to the slave mansion, her children. And Lizzie, the slave mistress, she comes down the stairs and she was like, whatever you think relationship you have with this house is buried with my husband. And Queen then responds to, she says, you know what? I don't like to think. I know. And then the mistress responds and says, you don't belong here. You never had. And so she walks out the door. And so the children are like, Mom, isn't this your home? And then she says, no, home is where you are loved. You ain't being loved in America. You feel that America doesn't care about you. This is not your home.
Yeah, I mean, and also too, like, I think a lot of people just think it's unorthodox when it comes to nationhood, because like I've come across a podcast. It was called the Paradox, the Mavericks Paradox podcast, and they were talking about entrepreneurs, but the point is that what the guy was saying is that you don't have to go through hardship in order to be successful. Like, you don't plan on going through, the mud or the struggle in order to get where you need to be. Like, no, it just takes a bit of planning, actually thinking through this shit, and, just being organized. Like, there is no, we got to go through hardships and then we'll get there. Because what if you stay stuck in that hardship? And then what? Like, you're just going to sit there and complain about it? Like, come on now.
Yeah, and like the final thing would be Daryl said before, it's the path of least resistance. That's the natural thing of the universe. The universe doesn't like going through more resistance than it has to. It goes through the path of least resistance. If the path of least resistance is nationhood, that's where I'm going to go, because that's the path of least resistance. I'm not going to make it harder than what I'm supposed to make it.
Yeah, because like, what?
You know what the crazy part is?
What?
They've made the path of least resistance into the path of most resistance. It should be the path of least resistance, but they've actually turned it into the path of most resistance.
Man, they judo flipped that shit. having a solution is illegal. It's going against the laws of nature.
Yeah,
And see,
it doesn't make.
I took a lot of slack from people because I said this, and I'll say it again. Everybody wants to talk about getting together with this group and getting together with that group. Well, why don't you get together with this one and that one and the other one and all this other stuff? And my answer to that has always been the same. The reason why there is a BAIO to begin with is because these groups couldn't get together.
Mm.
They birthed this organization. They birthed this network. Their incompetence is the reason why we are even here.
It's the catalyst.
So why am I going to get together with a bunch of people that were never going to do anything to begin with? And trust me, before the BAIO even came into existence, we tried. It's not like we just talking shit or it's just theoretical. We tried.
Holla private Daryl.
What happened?
Daryl needs you to add him back.
Oh, okay. I didn't know he got knocked off.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I was in a hole.
I didn't know you got knocked off.
I was trying to share my screen and I did something retarded.
But yeah, like I was saying, it's like if these groups are really serious, they be getting down with us. Because every person that I know that's serious heard our message and said, oh, they sound like they know what they talking about. They sound like that. This sounds like a place where I need to be. We didn't have to give them no fucking PowerPoint presentation. We didn't have to break down the cost benefits and analysis and all this other bullshit. We didn't have to do any of that shit. People heard the message and they signed up immediately. So if there's people out here who claiming to be for Black people and they know about this and they have not signed up and been down with us, fuck them.
And I know
what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. You're going, well, he can't be talking about so and so. Yeah, I'm talking about that nigga too.
I mean, let's be real. It takes, and it's not being mean, but let's be real. Okay, let's look at me. Let's look at me, for example. I'm still a college student, and yet I still have the time to do all of the stuff that I do, despite being a college student, got this other stuff going on, and yet for some reason, I got the message, but he's been talking to you for 5 to 6 years, and you still ain't signed up to the website. Like, and you an architect, and you've been on this earth longer than I have, and you still ain't signed up to the website. And now, if you don't know or ain't heard about us, that's one thing. But if we talk to you constantly, and then yeah. Yeah.
And don't sign up to the website because you think one of us is cute.
Oh.
Oh man.
Because that's what I get the sense. I get the sense that people is looking for a personality to ride behind and jump on a dick. How about jumping on the principles of what we're standing for? How about that?
Howard, come on, man.
People love doing that shit.
No, I mean, think about it. If America, think about it. If America didn't have that mindset, we wouldn't have had Donald Trump. Donald Trump would have been irrelevant. Donald Trump wouldn't have been able to even do half the stuff, a tenth of what he does. But once again, people are in this cult of personality. They just like the person and not what this person actually stands for. Like, they were showing people who voted for Donald Trump, and one dude was like, I don't know what Donald Trump's vision is, but I know he'll lead the way. If the man doesn't have a vision, then you don't need to be voting for him. You don't need to be listening to him.
Well, that's what I said.
Wow.
People are mouth breathers. They just mouth breathers. And I wouldn't be surprised if he runs again and wins. It would not shock me at all.
That should be funny.
It wouldn't shock me at all because the Democrats are showing you they don't give a fuck about you. So what was the purpose of keeping him out of office in the first place? I thought the whole world was going to spin off its axis. Dogs was going to start playing with cats. There was going to be like people running down the highway like Mad Max movie. I thought everything was going to go, bonkers because this guy was president. What happened?
Nothing. The same thing that's been happening.
You just got a bunch of do-nothing people fighting for power who ain't going to do shit for the citizens of their own goddamn country.
And holla. This is one thing I would say also is that I was reading this article and he was talking about how white America had an identity crisis and how Black American doesn't. And I'm just like, if they have an identity crisis, why is it that we have to suffer for their identity crisis? That's not our fault. That's not our responsibility. That's the thing that we're saying, us people who advocate for land, infrastructure, nationhood. We should not have to suffer for their identity crisis and their problem. We shouldn't have to deal with that. Okay, let them deal with it. And we'll be in our nation doing what we need to do. But I'm not for this do it right here because these Captain Black Americans seem to forget that whatever happens to white America is also going to happen to you. Like, we live in the same country. So if America's going down, you're going down with it. That's why we say abandon ship.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
I can't sign.
I know it's approaching 2 hours. Yeah, so we need to put that in there. We're gonna put it one more time to like, share, subscribe. I know we're approaching the 2 hour mark. What I would simply say is, so the last thing I would say is, you have a country that literally cares about you. You have a country that was founded by you. You have a country that has a great history, and we in the BR are going to share it. But we should not be spending so much time and energy on a country that has constantly showed us, and the rest of the world sees doesn't live up to its expectations. So by now, like the channel is for, focus on Liberia. That's what we need to do. Focus on Liberia. Period.
Being told that they are by.
Actually, Baruti, I addressed this a few videos back where I said that the people who want to be American need to forgive white people. Because I really don't see what the point is of making your life difficult by constantly bucking and going against them when you still want to be under them. It makes no sense to me. If you want to be, you never be at peace with them because they're still going to kick your ass. But at least you can make your life a little bit easier by not constantly fighting with them. Just give in to whatever they want and make your life a little bit easier. I mean, I think it's easy for Candace Owens to a certain degree. It's like the people that have completely sold out and said that I'm going to be your bitch and I'm going to be your bottom bitch for you, Mr. White Man. They seem to be doing pretty good in this country. Why don't you do the same thing? Why do people? That's the thing about the militant integrationists and the Black Power Americans that I don't understand. You want to be against America, but you don't want to leave America. You want to live under the socio-economic and political context of white people, but then you don't like white people. It doesn't make any sense. And it's making your life way more harder than it should be. Just tell the white man you forgive him. Let them know that racism doesn't exist. And stop it with this 1619 shit and this Black History Month and all this dumb shit. Forget all of that and just be American. I mean, am I saying something wrong? I mean, just be American. You love America. You ain't leaving it. You don't want to leave. You don't want to establish anything of your own. Why are you messing shit up in America with this black stuff? Asian Americans who live here, they are American. They'll tell you.
Yeah.
24-hour said in the chat. You do know Liberia was Black Wall Street, right? How do we know that's not going to happen again?
What?
What?
How was Liberia Black Wall Street?
I responded. Hold on. I responded. I already put it in the chat, and I'll just read it real quick. I said, we know what happened to Black Wall Street. Therefore, you prepare. You make sure you put the proper protective investments in Liberia so it doesn't happen again. That's in the discussion. That's all you got to say.
Okay. Well, first of all, Black Wall Street is not like Liberia because Liberia was actually a country.
Fact.
Black Wall Street was a town inside of America.
Fatality.
Vic said Common did, and it worked out pretty well for him.
Yeah, like Fatty Black just said. That goes for those in any non-black country. Stop the black talk and assimilate and breed yourself out. Yes, that'll make your life easier. Have a bunch of little mixed sites, and that'll make it easier. You don't have to worry. Get it so that every ounce of darkness, all the thick lips and broad nose, all that shit is gone. Make your life easier, because that's what you want anyway, right? You don't want any power.
No, I would basically say this. I'm like, if you're going to just assimilate and adopt their culture, adopt their ideology, just stop doing this pro-black stuff. Like you can say like these heritage months. Just say, listen, I'm of African heritage, but I'm Russian. I'm Russian first. I'm Chinese first, or I'm American first. I'm just of African heritage. Just say that. Stop saying I'm black first, but you still live in this country, and don't just say, listen, I'm an American of African descent. That's it.
I don't even want them to say that. Just say I'm an American, because that's divisive. Once you start bringing in other shit, that's divisive. Everybody in this country should be American. American. Don't say that's not my president. Yes, it fucking is. That's your president. Because whatever bill that he approves, you're going to be affected by it. So Trump was your president, whether you liked it or not. Obama was your president, whether you liked it or not. If you're going to be a country, be a country. Stop it. Stop separating and dividing yourselves. We, on the other hand, don't have to worry about any of that shit.
Oh, and to answer 24 hours, because I know we got to get going, but to answer 24 hours question, yeah, you deal with that. You make sure that what happened with Samuel Doe doesn't happen and Charles Taylor doesn't happen. We know that was an inside job, but we're gonna make sure that doesn't happen again. Like, we study, we learn from the past, and that's one of the things. You don't look at the past like Hullop said. If you lose, if you don't make it to the Super Bowl, you don't quit. You just learn from what you did the previous season and get the necessary pieces and go with it. So it's the same thing what happened with Liberia. We know what happened with the coup. We know what happened with Samuel Doe and Charles Taylor. So you avoid that from happening. You make sure there's a strong political institution, strong social institutions, and we go from there. That's all I have to say. Last word.
24 hour. I just put it like this, and I made this short before because we're getting ready to get off of here. If your team don't win the Super Bowl, they don't tear down the stadium. It's that simple. We can understand the concept of we keep going until we win in any other field except nationhood. And nationhood is one and done. Oh, well, we tried it one time. It didn't work, so that's it for that. Well, then why don't you use the same philosophy when it comes to your team, your sports team? When your sports team loses for a season, you go, oh, well, we'll get them next year. No, nigga, you can't get them next year. Y'all can't play no more. How about we do that? Your team loses, they no longer have the ability to play the game anymore. So if the Giants lose, that's it for the Giants. No more Giants football team.
Good riddance.
Bye.
Good riddance.
You see how ridiculous it sounds when you look at it outside of the nationhood spectrum?
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. That's a good way to leave on that note. Anyway, y'all, it's been real. It's been like 2 hours. We need to get out of here. Oh, Dario, when is the IT meeting?
It's supposed to be this afternoon. I'm waiting to hear back from everybody. So once we get all that together, then we'll know what's going on.
You spoke to Kex?
I have not. I hadn't heard back yet. Just message me on whatchamacallit. You want to do that on live?
Yeah, it don't matter. We ain't getting into details. We just saying, we're gonna have one.
Two quick points before we log off. First thing, I know Underrated Mind is gonna do his thing. Let me see. And then African Media Designs Lab, did you get it? I sent you an email. Did you get it? Just let me know so that we can think. I just want to make sure that you got that Africa Medium Design Lab. Just let me know. And then Underrated Mind, do your thing.
All right. Thanks, Jabari. Tune in every Sunday. We have something called The Lounge where we get to cool out, talk about different discussions outside of nationhood. And tonight's topic is going to be about politics, not necessarily American politics because that's old news, but something different. Got some questions lined up. And also, if you need help on getting into the lounge, well, we have the video in the BAIO channel. But don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and register if you believe Black people should have their own shit. That's my take on it.
Bye.
Oh, snap, I like that.
You won. You won.
Hey, can we do that every time we close out?
The next time this is the one I was about to play, but I couldn't get it up there fast enough. When Hollop was talking about it, and the Black Power Americans just want to put white people on the couch, and they just want to sit there and just take that ass whooping. I was going to hit them with.
Oh wow.
There it is.
Well, I'm out, y'all. But see y'all guys at the lounge if y'all joining. Peace.
Hey man, I appreciate y'all having me.
I will definitely be there. Thanks, African Media Design Lab. All right, Sam. It was great talking to y'all. We need to do this every Sunday. It need to be more of us talking every Sunday instead of me. It felt so lively today.
Yep, you're right.
I don't like hearing myself talk.
Me too. I hate it. That's why I love having y'all guys to bounce off of. But anyway, y'all, I'll catch y'all later. Have a good rest of your day. See you then. Good night. Peace.
All right, peace.